In this video, we are going to be utilizing the graphing calculator. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to use your calculator to approximate the zeros of any polynomial function. So, first thing you have to do is you got to go to your y equals. This thing's kind of finicky. There we go. And type in the function that you're looking at. Two x cubed minus x squared minus 2x minus 2. Sometimes this calculator is not my friend. But once you get this, there are 3 options. Option 1 is going to be the fastest way to check something, but a miserable way of checking for accuracy. It's the least accurate way possible. You just hit the button that says trace. This gives you a little cursor that rides along the function. Then you can just scroll over and say, I think it crosses right there. That would be an x value of negative 0.757576, but that gives me a y value that's bigger than 0. So maybe I go a little bit to the right. Well, now my y value is a little bit below 0. Basically, the only reason you would ever want to use trace, in my opinion, is if you plug in something and you think you have the correct value and want to just make sure you're close, this will tell you if you're close. Other than that, for accuracy's sake, I do not like this method whatsoever. The next method requires us to go second, calc, and then we want to find our zeros, so I'm going to scroll down or hit 2 to get 0, and then hit enter. Now when I do this, this is a process. It's not going to give you an answer immediately. So first thing I need to do is I need to figure out which 0 I'm looking for. In this picture, there are 2 different zeros I could be looking for. My cursor right now is where I had left it when I was tracing, and I'm still tracing. That's still what's happening here. But notice above where it says x equals, it says left bound. That means scroll your little cursor to where you think it crosses the x-axis and go a little bit more to the left. Now, since it's on the function, it's either going to go above or below the x-axis, but I think that negative 1.212121, probably forever, I think that's left of where I think my 0 is. So then I hit enter. And you can see there's this faint blue dashed line. That's my left wall, I'm going to call it. I think the 0 is to the right of that wall. Now it says right bound. So I'm going to go back to where I think my 0 is. I'm going to go a little bit to the right. Ooh, that one's nice. 0, negative 2. It's a nice ordered pair. I think that's farther right. So I'm going to hit enter there. So now my calculator is saying, you can't see there would be a dashed vertical blue line right there too, but it's right on the y-axis. My calculator is saying, okay, you're going to guess a number between those 2. So this is where I scroll back to where I had thought that 0 was going to be. It has to be between those 2 walls. Okay, I kind of set up a boundary to the left and a boundary to the right, and I'm guessing in the middle. When I hit guess, I hit enter. In this way, I'm going to get negative 0.732051, comma, 0. This equaling 0 says this is right. This being a long decimal tells me it may or may not be rounded. And that's okay, because sometimes you're going to get ugly numbers that you're just going to have to round, and the question will tell you what to round to, okay? Now, another way you can do this, the exact same buttons to start with, second, calc, value, I can see that my blue line crosses between 0 and negative 1. So for second calc 0, sorry. So between 0 and negative 1 means I can type in a negative 1 and hit enter. That gives me my left wall. I know that it's to the left of x being 0, so I can type in 0. That gives me my right wall. Now I can make my guess. Well, it's halfway between. Negative 0.5. And I got the exact same number here. Your guess just has to be kind of close. Your walls just have to be first to the left, then to the right, and your guess is just somewhere in the middle there, somewhere close. It's going to give you the same values if you do it that way. Okay? Now, option number 3 is a little bit more work than option number 2, but I really like number 3. This is how I actually was taught to do this. The reason I like number 3 is because you can extrapolate and use this idea to find where it crosses any value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my y equals, and I'm going to go into a second function and just type 0. Now when I graph, I've got a red line there. That's the second function, the one that I had typed in as 0. Now I'm going to do second, calc, intersect. Okay. Now, what I do for this is I still kind of use the trace idea. You can still kind of make the same guesses. But right now it says first curve. With these newer calculators, they're color coordinated, so I know I'm looking at the 4th degree polynomial here. But I just scroll over and put the cursor right on top of where I think it's going to go, and I hit enter. Now it's saying guess again on the red curve, but my cursor is still in the same spot pretty much. So I'm just going to hit enter again and hit guess. And this time it told me negative 0.732051, comma 0, which is the exact same ordered pair. Okay, so again, if I tried this second calc intersect, if I'm just looking over here, I think on the blue curve that's crossing at about x being negative 1. Let's see. Oops. If I try this, I can't type in my negative values here. So it's the one downside with intersect is you have to actually do the scrolling. But I think it's not that bad because all you have to do is scroll one time to where you think the answer is and then go enter, enter, enter. It goes very fast. And how it's useful in the future in other aspects, if I want to know when does this thing go above 5, I can just type in a 5 there. Now I know second calc intersect, it's above 5 to the left of negative 1.23, and second calc intersect, it's above, went a little too far, so I gotta come back. And how I know I went a little too far is I'm looking at the x value as I scroll. I had gotten into the 4s, and I know that that's too far. So I would be able to say it's to the right of 2.88, whatever. Now, that's not for this chapter. That's for in the future and for word problems and solving other things. But that's why I wanted to show you option 3. It is very versatile. On a test, I don't really care which one you use, with the exception of trace. Trace can be how you check your answer. I'm going to ask you to have things rounded to specific decimal places. So if I were to just trace this thing, I would have negative 0.757576, but rounded to the nearest hundredth, that is incorrect. It's close, but it's not quite close enough, okay? Now, since this was just about the calculator, I didn't go through and find both of the real zeros, but it's the exact same process, just scrolling over to the other one. Hope that all makes sense. This is a great place to come back and just look through the button process again if you ever forget. But have a great day, everybody.